Michael Scanzello here with ThriveMeWild.com and my 30-day series on EvenThink, my concept to conquer overthinking once and for all, or at least as it comes up day to day, taking on practical daily challenges to get rid of that anxiety and that fear, turn into courageous excitement so that we can do better. And today I'm talking specifically about networking. I went to a networking event today. I'm going to give a little breakdown about what happened at that, talk to you about how to have less anxiety so you can build better relationships and you can actually have more fun doing it too. So how cool is that? We're going to get into it in just a moment. First off though, if this is your first time stopping in, and it doesn't matter if you go out of order in the series, it's just the way I arranged them. I just wanted to do a kind of a live video challenge for myself in 30 days to put some information together for you, and also to gather together different people, diverse backgrounds, and see what you think about overthinking, the fear, anxiety, how you overcome it. If you want to ask me a question, I will get you an answer. If you don't have a good answer out there and all the information you already have on hand, I will seek out an answer for you. Give me an answer. And I'm looking for comments and things here on the side. I think I see them on the side here. I think we're good. Okay. So let's get into it. A little bit about me. If you don't know about my story real quick, Michael Scanzello. I said my name in the beginning. That was weird to say it again. I was a really shy kid. I was the kid that would stare outside the school bus looking out the window, like this nice window out here. And I didn't talk to anybody. I thought if I just didn't talk to anyone, then nobody would bother me, right? I could just get through life, try to avoid making decisions or having to interact with people and them not liking me. And it turned out it made them not like me even more, because then it made them feel like, oh, well, he thinks he's too good for us. So, I was actually getting bullied even I was mainly bullied through high school and whatnot. And then I went off to college, decided to become a theater arts major. And I did it. I got up on stage, started acting, and became now this social extrovert. I had this dream since I was 8 years old. I was reading these magic books about the history of magicians, and I made it a reality. I actually became a magician, and for 11 years I've been making a living doing magic tricks for people, bringing exciting experiences to them. And now I'm taking that to a new level by trying to create exciting experiences for people in their everyday life by coaching. And I do offer a free coaching session for anybody who comes in, and it's just free. It's just a way for me. I'm starting out in this and I want to help out people. If I help out enough people, I know you can maybe refer me to someone else, and eventually I'll have people that I can help on a more long-term basis. So yeah, I'm offering that if you go to ThriveMeWild.com. But right now today, the content, again, if you have a question, ask me, and I'm going to dive right into it. So today, here's what happened. I went to a networking event at this local business association. That's why I have the suit coat on and the shirt. I even have a nice belt. I had some fancy shoes on. Maybe I'll show you those later on in an additional post or something. I got my little written notes here to go off of to tell you all the important stuff I want to talk about. And also, there'll also be a YouTube channel. So if you missed this live video, there's also the YouTube playlist. I'll have it all in order for each day. And you just go get the content there. You can download an audio. They'll be on my blog at Thrive Me Wild. But yeah, let's get into it. So the whole EvenThink thing as well, I want to kind of clarify that a little bit. What that is that you're not overthinking, that you're not thinking so much about something that you do nothing. That's what I did for the first 18 years of my life. I just tried to do nothing. And as you may know, doing nothing is 100% guaranteed to fail. If you do nothing, you get no results, right? There's no outcome besides nothing. So at least if you try something good might come of it, right? At least there's a chance of that happening. So I hope we all agree. If you want to raise your hand here, let me know. Give me a heart, give me a like, that it's important to do something, right? So the point is the EvenThink is to get to a point where you do enough research, enough thinking to make a conscious, honest decision to say, you know what, I could take the downside. The worst that could happen is not really that bad. And for all the good that might happen, it's really worth it for that minimal risk of a little bit of my ego, that I might look a little bit silly. If I go out and I ask that person out that I want to ask out on a date, or if I go for that job opportunity and they think I'm qualified or I'm not. So that's EvenThinking. There's underthinking, which is where you just get into a state of reactionary mode, right? You're just acting off of the moment. Like, I have to make money right now. So you get the job that's the easiest one to get. Maybe the relationships around you aren't the most healthy, but hey, they're people I can talk to and they're around me. But when we intentionally choose, when we're not in that underthinking mode, as I call underliving as well, but you're in the EvenThink mode, you're actually intentionally choosing decisions that you make in your life. And I'm sorry about the lighting here. I think it's later in the day than my other video. The lighting might not be quite as bright. But yeah, choosing to not overthink, like I'm overthinking the video and how it looks, or underthinking where you just jump in and do something, like you go out on that date, maybe that's not such a big deal, but like marrying the wrong person who's maybe not right for you, or buying a house that's not really the best for you. So how do we make these big decisions, but still make them in a way that's efficient and done so we can take action and have that growth, that progress that you seek? That's the EvenThink idea, the methodology. And here today, as far as networking goes, I'm going to give you 6 tips on how to network. You're going to be more genuine, have more fun with it, get better connections. And it may not be what you think it is. It might be a little different. So stay tuned for that. I want to get into that right now with the first thing I did when I got to this event. So I was driving there on the way in my car, driving in my car. Let me make a visual picture for you there. I pull up to the event. It's a beautiful day. I love waking up early in the morning. This event started at 7 a.m., which I usually get up around 6 a.m., but I'm hanging out in my office. I'm not really involved in actively meeting other people and connecting with the real world. I'm in my own head, in my own office, writing content and thinking about things, formulating business plan and whatever I'm doing. But this was actually an event out in the public. So beautiful day. I got to see this beautiful sky. And I'm in my car just breathing. And that's the first thing, right? Just center yourself, set the intention. Take a couple deep breaths. And if you did that exercise with me, where you just take some deep breaths, just not take a deep breath now. You can put your feet on the ground in a nice, comfortable position. And you'll find that you're more centered. You're more clear in your thoughts. So you can be more intentional. You can set an intention. The intention I love to set is a simple phrase. I say, what can I give? Because in any situation you walk in your work or in your personal life, even for yourself in your inner life, what can you give yourself in a moment to experience as much joy as possible, even in a difficult situation? So I think, what can I give? So in this networking situation, I'm going to meet a bunch of local business people, and I can give attention, right? I can give my attention to them and to what their business is, to be interested in what they're talking about. So I just think, what can I give? What can I give? If you have a positive affirmation here, you can use that. If you have something like, in my magic work, I would say, I'm going to build amazing rapport with my audience. I'm going to build great rapport with my audience. You make it simple, you make it effective, positively word it. There's no words like not, like I'm not going to screw up. I'm not going to be anxious. Instead, you say, I will be confident. I will be excited to show up. I will be excited, and I will have great rapport with my audience. I will have great rapport with my audience. And your audience could be the people you're working with, the people in your family, your friends. I will have great rapport with my audience. So I have this positive affirmation, this relaxation exercise where I make sure I try to release tension in my body. If you know about Alexander technique, you can check that out. Put a link in the bottom about Alexander technique. And it's just about relaxation and focusing and getting really centered in yourself and just calm and quiet. So that's the next thing. Number 2 is quieting the noise. So you're not all these negative thoughts in your head, or all what happened in the past, or what might happen in the future, or what might go wrong. You might slip and fall. You might look silly. You might find somebody who just, doesn't like what you do or the way you do it. And intend on the positive things. When you quiet the noise, you can focus on positive things, that positive affirmation. And you probably will meet somebody who's friendly. At any event, there's at least one person who could be friendly to you, who will like you if you're friendly to them. So that's number 3, really. The number 3 thing for a networking situation where you want to connect with somebody genuine, you want to have fun with it, and on a really deep level, a personal level, is that the other person is the star. Even me, when I do a magic show, you think, oh, the magician, he's the star. He gets up on stage, I do my little thing. But you're the star. The audience, you are the star, the person I'm connecting with that comes up to help out, or in the audience I'm looking at and trying to make a relationship with, they're the star. And the beautiful thing about that is, by putting the focus on the other person, is it takes me away from having to worry about what I'm doing. I try to show up, sure, I try to dress right, I try to have a plan, I try to rehearse my presentation, go through all my tricks, my techniques, make sure I'm on top of my game, right? You show up at work, you're ready to work, and do all your skills you have, you're all ready to go. But then you let go of overly thinking it. And you know what? The best I can do in the moment is to serve. So how can I be here for this other person and show them attention and let them shine? Even when I talk to somebody on the phone about booking an event, I'll just listen to them and say, hey, how can I help you? And try to ask good questions about what's important. And then I see how I can serve. If what I do fits, or if it doesn't fit, I might direct them in a different direction. Same thing in a face-to-face meeting or over the phone. We're using the example of the networking event I went to today. I need just, how can I serve? So I'm there, I'm just happy to be there and enjoy the moment with people. Have a breakfast. They paid for the breakfast, so that was cool. I got a free breakfast for driving out. Got to meet some nice people, see how they run their business. So just living in the moment, in the now of that experience has its own joy, its own peace to it, that I'm not so concerned about what's going to happen in the future, or, you know, what happened in my past about who I am and how I was treated maybe in school. That's not me now. I'm a different person now. Overnight, every night, you know, your mind's gathering new information, becoming a new person. You're making new connections overnight in your subconscious. So truly every day when you wake up, you are a brand new person. So just be in the moment, be in the now, get quiet, put the attention on the other person. And this idea I love too, when you get up and you have to speak, especially a networking event or in a conference, in that important meeting, you have to make a presentation. If you're at school, you see this group of 10 or 12 or 50 people in front of you, and you think, oh my goodness, everyone is staring at me. They're all looking at me, and they're all expecting it to be perfect. If it's not perfect, I'm going to look stupid. Maybe they won't promote me. I don't know. This will be the end of my career. Who knows? All these crazy thoughts come into your head. And it's really not that bad, right? The worst that could happen, you might not get everybody's attention. You might not captivate everyone, but so what? People are so much in their own heads. I like to think that nobody cares. That's another thing I like to say is nobody cares. Not that nobody cares, like nobody likes you. No, but nobody cares in the fact that there's so much in their own head. We talked about clearing your mind and setting your intention, that maybe they didn't do that. You know, there's so much in their own head about what they have to do next, and, you know, that thing that's stressing them out in their personal relationship, or that thing they have to do later on at work. And, oh no, the taxes need to get done. Right now it's tax season. There's all these other things they're thinking about. So you're just cutting through that noise, you know, and if you can break through and connect with them one-on-one, that's the great way to do it, by being genuine, by you being in the moment. You can connect with them because you notice if they're connecting with you or not. But knowing that nobody cares, that if you have a small mess up, or you know, stutter, or you lose your place in your notes or something you're saying, it's okay. They're not paying that much attention. But when you captivate them, when you get that one-on-one connection, they're with you. And those are the moments that count. That's what people are going to remember, not everything else. That's why magic works, by the way. I'll give you the big secret to magic tricks. You can't watch everything. You're not watching everything. You're only seeing certain parts of the trick. That's why you see something that looks impossible for a moment, and you get that incredible experience of wonder and astonishment, you know, and that wonderful feeling and the adrenaline rush, like a roller coaster ride, because you're not perceiving everything. But in life, we're not perceiving everything. And sometimes you can miss something important. And sometimes they'll miss something that's not important, which is when you mess up a little bit. It's not so important. So just look for the moments when you are with people, when you are focused and engaging with them. So there's that audience of one. The other part about that is that you find that friendly person, that friendly face that's smiling at you. You connect with them, talk to them like you're talking to one person, because each person in the audience of 10 or 20 or 50 people is one person. They're one individual person, you know, and they're perceiving it individually in their mind. They're taking their own version of the reality of what you're saying in. So you speak to one person. That's all you're speaking to. I've spoken to auditoriums of 500 people, but treating it like it's that one person, or I'm dealing with that one person up on stage with me, I'm no longer so in my head about the big group and am I captivating everyone? Because when you captivate that one person, you connect with that one person, people are fascinated by that. They want to connect with what you're connecting to. If you've ever seen people in a really intense conversation, you're drawn to it, right? It's like a moth to a flame. You're drawn to this conversation these two people are having because it's so intense. So if you get that intense connection with one person, everybody joins in, and you're connecting on a more personal level than trying to speak to the masses and orate to them or something crazy like that. The next thing I'm going to get to, and the last thing I talk about too, the number 6, I'm going to tell a little personal story about my son. You want to hang in there for it. It's going to be, I think, kind of fun and interesting. The number 5 one too, this is a huge one. I got this course about coaching, because then I do the life coaching, which you can find out more. And there's a free session in thrivemewild.com/coaching. If you want to check that out, is I am enough. This is a big concept on self-love. For so long, especially if someone who is bullied. And I think all of us in some way, whether an introvert or an extrovert, you're bullied or you bully yourself. And people that don't intentionally try to bully you, they may just comment to you something that they think is constructive to help you, but it really hurts you. Maybe about the way you dress, or the way you look. Some of you can't even change. People, as I have kids growing up, you know, make fun of the way you look. But then you get so much in your own head, you think you're not as worthy as other people. Like maybe I'm not as deserving of success. Like this other person's successful because they're better than me. Maybe they're smart. I don't know, they are more disciplined than me, but nobody's more disciplined. Nobody's more deserving. You can be just as disciplined as anybody else when you've got that passion. Maybe we'll talk about that in a later video in the series about finding that passion, that what I think of as the mind on fire passion. Like I have doing this video series here, compiling this information to put into this book to bring out to people these practical, real world, as it happens, overthinking tips to overcome the fear and anxiety, to make it into that excitement mode. And I'm getting into my marketing mind of trying to throw together these slogans out there for you. But just to get genuine with you here, that you are enough, self-love, you are enough. That is the important thing. Think, I am enough. That's it. No matter what you do or where you go, lots of ways you can make money, lots of jobs out there. If you're serving someone in a company, you're getting paid, you're making a living, you're contributing to society, you're enough. I am enough. Even if you're not working, but you're working, you're working towards serving others, towards finding ways to connect and add to the greater good. That idea of spirituality, or that there's things bigger and greater than us, the universe, God, whatever you subscribe to. But then when you connect to that, you are enough. Just doing that, just being yourself and being genuine. You can say to yourself, and Marissa Peer, I listened to this talk she had, you can look her up on YouTube, about that mantra about I am enough. She would say, write it on your mirror. She worked with all these great actresses and actors. They seem to have everything in the world. They have all the money, all the fame, all the things you can imagine in life to have, to be living the good life, right? It's what we think of as the good life. As I finally arrived, I've made it. And they're not happy because they're expecting these external things to make them happy. And they find out that it doesn't fulfill them. And people always expect more of them. But when they just relax and they say, you know what, I am enough. I am whole, who I am as I was born, as we all are, that, you are enough. I am enough. I like to say too, I am worthy. I'm deserving of love, of joy, of everything that anybody else has. I'm just as worthy, just as deserving, and you're just as deserving. So embrace that. If you need to tell yourself that, run that mantra in your head. There's another great book, Love Yourself as If Your Life Depends on It. And he talks about, I love myself. This is this mantra he uses over and over again. I love myself. It's a very nice, short, quick read. There's some very specific techniques and his amazing, powerful story. It's really interesting to learn about. Just that simple phrase, that simple 3 words, I love myself. By repeating it, it sounds silly, but if you just try that, and if you tried it, comment below, let me know, what worked for you in all these tips I'm giving you. The last thing I want to share with you here, it is a personal story about my son. Me and my wife, we have my wife's mother, my mother-in-law, his house is in Philadelphia. And the number 6 tip is let go of the outcome. So whether you're in a relationship where you're connecting with someone in a business relationship that might lead to work, to a career or business opportunity, or maybe in a personal relationship, you let go of the outcome. So we always drive past the city of Philadelphia, near where we live. And my son would see the skyscrapers and he would watch a show called Bubble Guppies, where they have big bubble city. So we would drive past Big Bubble City, as he would call it, see these skyscrapers. He was so fascinated, so excited about it. We were like, one day we have to take him to Center City, Philadelphia. We have to show him around these big buildings. He'll be so excited. It'll be so great. We were going to go away on a trip, me and the wife, to have some us time, some couple time, which is important to do in your life. And we wanted to take him out for his day and have a nice day with him before we went away. So we took him to the city and we saw the big buildings. He was appreciative. But then he said, is there a toy store? Where's the toy store at? So we go to the toy store and he wants a Frisbee. We buy a Frisbee and we walk past a park. He said, oh, can we go to the park? And we end up throwing the Frisbee back and forth in the park for about the better part of an hour. And he has a blast. He has a great, amazing time throwing a Frisbee in the park. We take him to the city. We're parking in the city. It's not the most affordable thing in the world to do, right? Trying to take him on this fancy night. We even took him to a fancy restaurant that night I thought he would like. And that was just my other camera for the backstage behind the view video, switching off there. So yeah, we went to this fancy restaurant later on at night. And he didn't really enjoy the restaurant either. I thought, oh, I love it. It's a chocolate themed restaurant. He'll really enjoy it. He just wanted to go back outside. The restaurant was too cold. This was in the summertime. It was nice and warm outside. And he got to just color in his little coloring book on the stoop outside the restaurant. He enjoyed that more. So we took him to the city. We wanted this experience of looking at all these beautiful buildings. show him around town. He loved throwing a Frisbee in the park and sitting on a stoop coloring instead of hanging out in a fancy restaurant. Didn't want to eat the fancy food, which was just like pizza, but he still didn't want the pizza. Or enjoying the chocolate-themed decor of like we're in Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. So the point is, we let go of the outcome there, and he enjoyed the moment. We had the intention that we wanted to give our best to him. We were trying to give the best that we could, but that he took a different thing out of it than what we would. So when you're connecting with someone, the point is they may take something out of it different than what you thought you were going to give them. The value that you thought you could provide to someone and what they actually receive may be different, maybe better than what you thought it could be, even though it's not really what you may have intended. So it's just to be open to that possibility that you do your best, and what you give, the value could be something different than what you thought it would be initially. So I hope those 6 tips, something in there clicked with you. Comment below, let me know if you've started taking action on something. And day 3, I'm going to go deeper into the daily overthinking challenges and how to overcome it. I might even bring in some scientific, maybe a psychological study related to it, to bring some backing to it and see where to go with that. So again, I want to invite you, if you want to get these updates, you can get the email updates at thrivemewild.com/eventhink. That's thrivemewild.com/eventhink, just the words even and think put together. That's going to have a sign-up form. There will be a free bonus as well in there. It's the 7 steps from purpose to profit. Basically, it's my journey that I had over the last, since 2013 up until now. So the past, 6 years, putting 3 different instructional things out to the magic community, teaching magicians how to do a magic routine. But it's really about the process, the inner dialogue of the inner journey I had and the lessons I learned for myself that apply to all aspects of life, in your career, your business, your personal life. And some of it relates to what I talked about today, as far as creating this thing that you really want to create. This thing maybe you've been fascinated by, you've been curious about or interested in. Like I was interested in magic since I was a tiny little kid and 8 years old reading these books. But it's how to get through that process to actually make it where, if it's something you enjoy doing, why not make a little bit of money out of it? Why not put it out there that could be somewhere it can make you some income and also reach more people? I've been able to reach people in 60 countries, impacting people all over the world. So that's a free bonus. You get a free audio download. There's no build up to a thing I'm selling beyond that. It's a free bonus. So if you see the 7 steps from purpose to profit coming into your inbox, if you sign up through the email, you're in the right place. You're also going to get the 30-day update for the EvenThink series on conquering overthinking, so that you can turn that fear and anxiety into courageous excitement. And I want to invite you as well to YouTube. There's going to be a channel there with all the videos. You can go in there and just pick out your video in your playlist. The playlist will be under EvenThink in the Thrive Me Wild page. And share it if there's a friend you think that could use this, that maybe be overthinking things a little bit, has some big decisions to make, and be able to make them more effectively, faster, to have more enjoyable experiences, excitement in life. That's what it's all about, right? I'm going to leave you with this final thought. You have everything you need to thrive. You have your mind, you have your actions and your personality. And when you go out there and you live your full potential, you really share your genuine self out there, all the messy stuff and, vulnerable stuff and the good stuff too, that you have inside of you, that unique genius that nobody else has that you can share with the world, you will empower others to do the same. So keep on thriving. I'll see you on day 3.